Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you once again to the Lenny Robbins YouTube channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for each other by watching what our politicians do and what they say. I want to use this opportunity to jump right immediately into something that I saw on YouTube, a comment made by opposition leader Mark Golding. And then someone captioned it, I don't know who captioned it, as Unity in Crisis. Now, when you see that headline, that would definitely draw your attention, because it was the speech given by Mark Golding, even though it was a short, was addressing the Melissa situation. Well, the leader of the opposition went on to explain that they too have done their groundwork in Jamaica, survey and all of that, and they have an idea of the damage and all what across Jamaica. They have some great ideas that they want to share with the Jamaica Labour Party. And they want to sit down and to also not only just share their ideas, but to point out to the Jamaica Labour Party their weaknesses and where they're wrong and all of that. But let us be very frank with Mark Golding, considering this unity in crisis thing. He also went on to say that Jamaica, they should both come together to work for the benefit of the country. Now, all of that is said, that all that was said by Mark Golding is good. Very, very good. Very, very good, Mark Golding. You're on the right track with what you said. But you and I both know, sir, that's not the reality on the ground. You can say whatever you want to say, because this is about political mileage for you. And this is about looking good in the eyes of the people. But you know that will never happen. Because ever since both political parties were formed, 1938 and 1943, both political parties have worked and operate independently of each other. Has worked and operate independently of each other. And the culture of both political parties in Jamaica is not to sit down in a bipartisan way and solve anything for Jamaica, no matter the crisis, no matter what it is. Because the reality, sir, the fact of the matter is the JLP was elected to lead the country, to govern the country, to lift the country out of whatever crisis or whatever dilemma it may find itself in. It was elected to govern on behalf of all Jamaicans, not just some. And if the PNP was in power, the same principle would apply to the PNP. That's why you were elected. I'm saying that to say this, that the JLP owes the PNP no obligation to sit down with them for the PNP to tell them what their weakness is. And if you were in power, Mark Golding, PNP that is, you hold the JLP no obligation to sit down and listen to them tell you what your weakness is. That's not how our politics works in Jamaica. And I've been saying it for years now. For years I've been saying, why can't these two political parties, ladies and gentlemen, come together and one thing for the benefit of the country? That has not been the practice of our political parties in Jamaica. So why now, Mark Golding? Why now? As far as this collaboration and this bipartisan effort you're talking about, so I would say one thing to you: be very careful of what you said. Be very guarded of what you said now, because the next time a catastrophe hits Jamaica like Melissa, your party may be the party in power. Your party may just be the party in power. So I can only say, if you want to do something, say you do it from a PNP perspective, and allow the JLP to do what they do, because the JLP is not going to sit with you, no matter how much you want to talk or call for a bipartisan effort. They're not going to sit with you, sir. That has not been the culture. That is not the culture of our political parties, to sit down with each other and work out anything. And I've been calling for this for years. For both political parties to form a bipartisan committee, a think tank, or whatever you want to call it, a commission, and sit down and work on two things for the country. Give yourself a 2-year period to work and better 2 years of our life, health and education, or any two you guys want to choose. Any two you want to choose. Any 2 years of the public's life. But now, You're calling for unity in crisis. Just tell the nation, sir. Why now? When times are good, you can't work together. But why should it take a crisis for both political parties to work together? I don't know, Mark Golden, but I don't think the PMP is not the PJ party we knew of. It's not the Michael Manley party. You don't have that kind of, you just don't have that PMP and a Michael Manley cliche. You don't have it on that it used to be on a PK. PJ party only know how to win election. So he knows how to tell what to tell people and how to reach people. Under this PMP administration, they don't have it. But it's not that you guys can get it, Mark Golden, because you guys are all smart. Anyway, so much for that. Now, in a broader sense to Jamaica, I want to talk about something. I want to shed some light on this Melissa thing. But I want to address the message from Melissa. And one of the messages Melissa has left us, has sent to us in the wake of his destruction, is very, very clear. And if it's not clear upon us, and for those of you who are not thinking this way, let me say this. One of the most important messages Melissa has left us is for us to now start to realize that if we think Melissa was destructive, the worst, there is worse to come. Or in other words, the worst is yet to come. Over the years, we have been failed by successive government, PMP and JLP. So this is why I couldn't understand why Mark Golden is calling for unity in crisis, when that's not the norm. We in Jamaica, let me take it from the top down. The government, successive governments have not done enough to educate people on the effects of climate change. They're talking about what they can do to grow an economy and how they're going to make jobs this and housing this and education this and all of that crap better. Nobody talks about climate change. And climate change throughout the world, it was witnessed in Jamaica recently. It's causing planetary crisis that is destroying economy right across the world and pushing people into poverty. Climate change. Our government, over successive government over the years, have done nothing to get the country up to speed and knowledgeable with climate change and environmental protection and the importance of environmental protection. Let me put it that way. Yet we're talking about in crisis now to unite in crisis. So Melissa's left that message with us. That if we don't get our act together and start to get our act together, educate the nation. This is under our Andrew Holness-led administration. It is up to you, sir, to get the nation up to par with the effects of climate change and the importance of helping to reduce climate change and the importance of protecting our environment. The economic value of that, because if we allow that to get out of hand, we have no economy. And this is something, Mr. Prime Minister, you need to drive home to the people of Jamaica. And stop promising people downtown and parade when downtown and parade can't even exist without a good climate. If you think Melissa, sir, if Jamaica think Melissa was bad, the worst is yet to come. The worst is yet to come. A couple of days before Melissa hit, when the meteorologists were, warning us that it's gaining strength and it's heading to the Caribbean, and if it does not change course, Jamaica will be affected and all of these things. And it's getting stronger. I commented on an article that I saw, and concerns was raised about gullies getting overflowed throughout the country and all of this, Kingston and all over. And of course the concerns were genuine, concerns were real. But some people started commented, at their comments said, oh boy, that is going to happen because people are throwing their garbage in the gully, and government should arrest them and charge them a fine of $500 or $5,000 for dumping garbage in the gully. But I had a little to my common sense response to that. And I just want to use this opportunity to comment a little on that garbage dumping in gully thing, and where government is failing people. And I ask the question, if there's not a good garbage collection policy or schedule in place so citizens know exactly when their garbage truck is coming. Twice a week, Monday and Thursday, okay. Or whatever 2 days you want to choose. Garbage will be collected. Recycle here, regular garbage over there. Now when there's no clear garbage collection policy in place, or there's no schedule for that in place, and a person hasn't seen a garbage truck in 6 to 8 weeks, what does that person do with their garbage? Where should they dump it? How do we get rid of this garbage? And for government to charge them $500, how are you going to charge a person $500 to dump garbage in the gully when there's no clear-cut policy on that? And who is going to police people to see them dumping garbage in their gully? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to wake up as a people and take our head out of the sand and realize and speak truth to power. Our governments has failed us as a country. Our government has failed us miserably. And I'm saying PMP and JLP because I've been saying this for years. PMP is no better than the JLP. JLP is no better than the PMP. None of them. Their only focus and quest is for power, to be the government of the day. Here's another uproar. The JLP and CMEX. Corporate funding of election. Big money funding of election. What is the uproar for? What is the uproar about? What is it all about? When this has been happening for years in our elections, what is it all about? So even if they want to fund the JLP campaign and write it off as something else, what are we even fussing about? Where is the law in place to prevent all that from happening? And this is why I'm saying to the common Jamaican man, people, for too long we have allowed ourselves to become useful leaders for these political parties. CMEX contribution to Jamaica Labour Party campaign should be a lesson to us, the people on the ground, that when these parties are elected into power, we are not their first options. As far as the vote is concerned, we are their first options, but as long as they get our vote, then we are not their first option. corporations like CMEX or contributors like CMEX, if that is so, that allegation is real, are their first options, not us. Let us go back to the campaign trail and try to remind ourselves of what the JLP says, what the PMP says. Everybody promised how they're going to make the economy this and the economy that and the economy this and provide all kind of goodies for people. I've been saying all along that any party become the government after the last general election is going to have a difficult time governing the country. And PMP, you can talk all the crap you want to talk, because if you were the government, you probably still would be going around in circles, not even knowing where to start. And that's the honest truth. You'd still be going around in circles, not knowing where to start. Because all that was said on the campaign trail, as I've been saying to people all along, these are campaign promises. Promises to capture your vote, promises to get you to vote for me. Now, when you promise me something if I vote for you, how do I guarantee you to give me something? People, that responsibility lies with us as people. And I've heard Mark Golden talk about becoming a transparent government. I've heard Andrew Holness talking about becoming a transparent government on the campaign trail. I cannot hold the PMP foot to the fire in this one, because the PMP is not the government of the day. The JLP is the government. But Mr. Andrew Holness, you and your government and your parties have not seen any effort since you won the election. You may say it's too soon, but I don't know when it's too soon for transparency. I don't know when in government transparency is too soon. But you promised on the campaign trail that you'll do everything to make your party a transparent or as transparent a government as can be, or as it should be. And now you hear the cry of the people, and they're calling out for trust in government, they're calling out for honesty from government, they're calling out for accountability, they're calling out for responsibility. Where is the effort so far, sir? Where is the JLP effort or the government's effort to be transparent and to even indicate to people that we are doing everything to become a transparent government with you guys? Absolutely important, ladies and gentlemen, that we stop, look, listen, and learn. You know, I've never forgot that sign that I used to saw at the train gate crossing, you know, where the train line goes across the road or where the road runs across the train line. There's always a sign there. Even when the person who should be opening that gate is not there, the sign says, stop, look, listen. And I used to observe most people just drive across, walk across, ride across, run across. No stop, look, listen. So I noticed from a youth growing up, it is not in us as Jamaican to stop, look, listen, and learn. And I'm using this opportunity to say to Jamaicans, home and abroad, we need to get back to the basic. Stop, look, listen, and learn. These politicians are taking us for fools. Listen to the rhetoric on the campaign. Listen to the promises they make on the campaign. Watch what they do when they're in power. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Lenny Robbins YouTube channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding for each other. No PMP can do it alone. No JLP can do it alone. The suggestion Mark Golden is making for bipartisan effort is good. If that were the practice, if that were the culture, if that were the norm in Jamaica amongst our political parties. But it's not going to happen. We the people, if it comes from any political leader, it's not going to happen. We the people have to forge that bipartisan effort. We, the people, have to threaten them and make them know that if they don't come together, they don't have our votes. Simple as that. That's the only way it's going to happen. Welcome once again. Lenny Robbins, over and out. Blessed love, Jamaica. Blessed love to one and all.